Greetings everyone, and happy Sunday to you if you're watching this video on Sunday, which I hopefully think you are, because my uploads for videos have been dragging on, and yet I am in good standing with YouTube. If you are new to this channel, or you've been with this channel and you missed a video, just head on over to my channel, check out my videos and playlists. I got a little bit of everything. And I'm sorry for the fan being on high. It is really hot in my house. Anyway, today is on how to boost your spell performance. Now, if you've been with my channel, you know why I don't teach magic. But to those who don't, I had a student some time back, and I was teaching them because they wanted to learn what I was learning, which is I use the Simon Necronomicon. Well, they thought they didn't have to listen to me or heed my words and warnings, so they thought they could just do whatever they want, and it backfired. But that was all cleared up and taken care of. Not by me, but by somebody else that the spell went towards to by accident. Or at least that's what they claim. Neither here nor there. I'm not friends with this person anymore. But anyway, that's why I don't teach magic. But this I can teach because I feel like I need to. I'm getting a calling saying, you know, for those out there who are like me, your concentration breaks very easily. And you get distracted, or your memory isn't so good. That was supposed to be in a New York accent, but that backfired. So I will be using the example of what I do with my magic system, which is a sigil here. My incense would be right here. My 2 candles would be right here. And I would have my stones for magical working. I will make another video about that later on. And my athame would be right here. Back in March, and my followers do know this, because I've repeated it so many goddamn times, that there's like 16 videos in the Late Night Rant and Ramble series that I do dedicated to this. There was some unpleasantness, betrayal, deceit, so on and so forth, that warranted revenge. Well, under the suggestion of a spirit, I will say, bluntly, told me to do the revenge, which was well deserved, in my opinion. And then between translation to my mind to physical paper, I had the bright idea to use a picture. Now, I'm using Richard Simmons as an example, so don't freak out. It's just a example. Now, I'm not saying, you know, go out and do whatever the hell it is that you want, but I'm saying if you're going to do a magic spell, at least know what you want. And if you have trouble concentrating on a mental picture, get a mental picture with an actual picture. You can print one off if you have a personal printer, which I recommend. You don't want to be somewhere like the library and print it off, especially if the copier, or not copier, but the printer is behind the librarian's desk, because they're going to ask questions. Yeah, that made sense. Or you can go the digital route in the internet, Facebook. I know that sounds kind of creepy, but hey, the government's been doing it to us, so it's a two-way street. And it doesn't have to be a person. Take this off camera because I have some people I wish to protect, because I didn't ask for their permission. Excuse me. Or it could be something like as simple as making my grass green. Especially if you're in an area where you're under water rationing. Like California was like under like water ration or something, where they couldn't like use water for excess purposes, like watering your lawn. But it could be a picture of money, person you love, whatever, so on and so forth. It just depends on the magic system that you're using. But so I made my sigil. That was part 1. Part 2 was, well, that was part 2. This is part 1. I got the picture I wanted. And then for part 3, and this is mighty important, write down exactly what it is that you want and how you want it. If you know the secrets to manifesting, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is just a different route of manifesting, if you didn't know. If you don't choose your words carefully, you can either end up with a good result or a bad result. Or you can have a good result with a bad result. One video I watched a couple of years back, a guy did a love spell and it worked. And then a couple months later, it turned into a 360 turn for the worse. The object of his affection turned into a complete obsessive stalker. So it helps to know what you want. So you write out whatever it is that you want, refine it to where you can easily remember, like good health Richard Simmons, or which is the basic blunt of it. I wish Richard Simmons good health. And if you're working with a system that calls upon the gods themselves specifically, you might want to say please and thank you. In this case, I don't know why I wrote it backwards, but please should be down here. But I said, I wish Richard Simmons good health, please. Or, in this case, please, I wish Richard Simmons good health. And then when it comes time, the way I do it, if I haven't explained it already, because I've made this video like 18 times, so if I've said it, I'm sorry. Got my sigil here, my name, my picture here, my incense here, my 2 candles here, my athame down there, my magical stones either between the incense and the sigil or above it. I'll make a different video on that later. Now, you can have what you wrote down if it's really that bad. Now, I chant. I find chanting easier, especially when I'm trying to keep concentration on the sigil and the picture at the same time. But if you can pull off all three, hey, you're awesome. You're like super awesome. I wish I could do that. But I mainly chant. Now you want to have your picture, if it's on a phone or something, I prefer like a phone that's deactivated, like an old phone, like this one is, because I film on the one I use. Preferably want to do that, because you don't want to be in the middle of your casting and your phone go off, because that would just completely fuck everything up. So if you use a phone or an iPad or something, preferably an old phone or an iPad or whatever is ideal. A printed picture is really ideal, but again, if you don't have a personal printer, this is the way to go. Now I've done this 4 times, and I've had great results. But, like, yeah, I skipped that part. I'm sorry. You want to have it angled, if it's on a technological device, to where you don't see the inversion, depending on how you sit. So, you want to have it either propped up or angled. Like, do that, and it becomes, well, not right here, but you know what I mean, the inversion. So you're doing that, and if your mind does start to break concentration and wander off, that's okay. Just take 3 deep breaths, clear your mind, and realign yourself to the picture and the sigil, and start chanting, or look at your, till you can take no more again. What I do is I base my spell length on the stick of incense I use. I use incense that lasts an hour from start to finish, and that's how I base my spells. There's been a couple of times where I've had to break it early, but most of the time I go from start to finish on a stick of incense, and that's an hour. So that's just what I do. Again, it just depends on what magical system you work with. And I think that's about it. Yeah, I think that's about it. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to tell me down in the comment section down below. I would love reading it. I know I need to respond to a couple of videos I've done this past week. Things have been crazy last couple of days, but usually I respond to comments rather quickly, unless I'm like uber busy like last week. So, or if you have any ideas or tips, feel free to tell me down below, and I would love to hear them. I'm always increasing and adapting to make things better. So I feel like this is exactly where I need to be right now. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. If you didn't, still give it a thumbs up anyway. Subscribe if you haven't, because all my subscribers are awesome. And that was a little too close, I'm sorry. Yeah. Have a great week, guys. Thanks for watching.